This is episode 8 of the Explorers podcast. And today, my guest is Ben Vachon from Massachusetts. This is a hometown buddy of mine. And Ben Vachon is a musician, a multi-instrumentalist, singer, songwriter with a background in computer science. And I'll actually be kind of asking if those two worlds collide. As my first question here, do you feel like those are two separate realms that you kind of operate in, or do you find that they end up kind of laying over each other like a similar blueprint?
Yeah, they're definitely different things. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been playing music for a lot longer, right? Than doing computer science is something I took up in college to get a job. But I do think there's like the cross section really. So for one thing, that's kind of interesting is there's a lot of software engineers who play music. I've noticed as like a trend. I don't know if the two, if there's like causation or just random correlation there,
Yeah.
but there's a lot. There's a lot. What I do think, I think that so I don't like use computer science when I'm working on music really at all. I know some people who do kind of, but they're
like
more
it,
like audio engineers, producer type people.
like actually integrating software uh, engineering skills. Is that what you mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend, Tom Varner. I'll go ahead and plug him really quick because I'm gonna do.
Tom.
He releases some music under the artist name Fear Fantastic, and he does production work for like a lot of people. I really like his music, and he's a software engineer who's like the kind. So in software engineering, there are these like there's this like subsection of just like true wizards in computer science that like don't use the mouse or the trackpad. You like ones that you see on TV that is like I'm hacking the mainframe kind of guys.
They look
Yeah,
the other way and they're still going.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, he uses this software called Vim. It's a text editor that just kind of lets you build your own IDE. Like you probably use Visual Studio, right, for your
Uh,
game development.
it's called G Develop, but it is like a visual programming system.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I use IntelliJ, but they're like, there's tons of these things. They're like built environments for you to write and run code.
Okay.
And then Vim is like just a text editor. So you have to do all the rest of that stuff yourself through it. And like people will set up their own environments and like shortcuts and stuff like that. And Tom did that to Logic. So like he doesn't use the trackpad or the mouse to like open up, like he's like just using the keyboard and shit's
Oh,
happening so fast in the what do you DAW in the DAW.
he's
Yeah,
using
it's
it like a MIDI controller, or for what purpose? I don't understand how it
this is
gets
for
in like a
production,
um,
like mixing and mastering stuff.
like just what bumping the EQ
Sure. Everything, adding a
parameters.
plugin, changing the settings of a plugin, switching from track to track, opening up the
Is it really
like
more efficient though to be doing it all through the keyboard?
it really is.
Wow.
I you wouldn't think so.
I
It
wouldn't.
wouldn't be for you or me. Let's put
Yeah.
it, but like when you just have it, you have to configure everything and memorize everything for it to
Is
go this
he
quickly, right?
is he creating new keyboard shortcuts and expression keys and stuff to
Yeah,
just
exactly.
simplify tasks? I mean, it makes sense with like a lot of different creative disciplines.
I
Like,
guess my point is just that like that's the only area where I think, I mean, unless you're actually an audio engineer and you're like developing your own plugins,
mhm,
then there's obviously a major intersection between computer science and music.
for
But
sure.
otherwise, I don't really mix the two. But what I do think is there like between STEM in general, like science and math
Mhm.
and music, the like uh, they're attractive to the same people because they're both like this fun kind of juxtaposition between like solving puzzles and making something new,
Mhm.
being creative but also like analytical.
You think these are the same people who like to like who get interested in things like recurring fractals and stuff in nature and that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
a
I think
more
yeah,
a rigid but creative system.
yeah. I think it's just like if you like tinkering, then you end up liking computer science and also music.
I forgot to actually plug you right off the bat. I got a little excited, but I should tell people watching this, go check out Ben's new album. That's the reason why we're having this discussion. We're going to dive into the different tracks on his new album, No Toys Left to Eat, and kind of analyzing what that means exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, so I release music as Bevis Armada, which is a name that you came up with. So for I guess people listening who are unaware, me and Ben are very old friends. We go back to like middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we both kind of started making music around the same time and worked on it together a lot. We were both in Prospect Reach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the Beavis Armada reference comes from for anyone watching. It's on the it's kind of embedded in this chatter during the song Mr. Summer. And why did you choose that name? Is it like it's like it's like a little what's the best word for it?
Silly.
Yeah, it's like a little goofy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. I think that was definitely part of it. It's like I think it's the right amount of silly. Because I
Yeah,
don't like,
it could be taken seriously. It's like got
yeah,
just enough.
exactly.
But yeah, it's like it definitely conjures up like a sailor in my mind.
I can see that. Yeah. I think there's like a pretty strong correlation to like Beavis and Butthead with the
Yeah.
name Beavis in general. So like people are typically not going to be able to take it seriously. But I think that works really well. Like a lot of bands that I like have names that are funny when you first hear it. You know,
That's a
Death
good
Cab
point.
for Cutie, The Front Bottoms, Radiohead. Those are dumb names.
Yeah,
They're just like they become serious by virtue of their music and
I'm
then
a
like the
devoted Butthole Surfers fan.
yeah, that's another great example. Yeah,
Yeah,
Flaming Lips. That's a really stupid name.
that one I was just thinking about the other day. I was like, that so does not it like doesn't represent the aesthetic. I feel like, I mean, like it does because they're very bright and flamboyant, but like at the same time it
True.
sounds like a like sexy like leather kind of like the Flaming Lips. It sounds kind of kinky a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It sounds like they would just play like really slow bass lines with like a sultry, breathy vocalist who's like, like yeah. It sounds like something I wouldn't want to listen to. But yeah, I
And
like
yet it
that.
is. So with your album No Toys Left to Eat, um, definitely sounds like a reference to childhood of some sort. And I know that's sort of where you can gravitate creatively a lot, is towards those childhood core feelings and that
Yeah. I think I have
vivacious
like kind of an
child spirit.
obsession with nostalgia. And like music is one of the best ways to grab that.
Yeah.
You know, like nostalgia is one of those fun things where you can't really like if you try to talk about it or describe it, it doesn't really work, but you can allude to it with like figurative language and stuff. So
Hmm.
music uh is a good avenue for nostalgic feelings, which I really like chasing down.
You know, um, did you do that little Spotify aura thing this year?
I did, yeah.
What
What
did
was
you
mine? Mine
get?
was like yearning, and oh, what was it? I forget. It was like pink and yellow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm curious what your other one was actually. Can you
yearning
remember?
and focused. Yearning and focused. That's what it
Okay.
was. Weird. Nobody else I saw had that.
I
Yeah.
I, I actually like kind of got a lot from that. Like just those two descriptors spoke actually a lot to me when I saw mine. I was like, holy crap, that's so accurate, and it gives me a lot of like clarity actually to see it. It was wistful and euphoric, and
Hmm.
and I thought I always kind of knew what wistful meant. I thought it meant like a little bit like hopeful and dreamy, but looked up the def and it said a vague sense of regret or longing. And I was like, ooh, that's exactly what I like. That's that like nostalgia that ties into nostalgia, I feel
Yeah,
like, because
it
like
does. That's yeah. Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize it meant that either exactly. Yeah, what did I think? I mean, wistful is definitely really like you're looking at the past. I just never thought of it as such a sad thing. That sounds sad, right?
it is sad, but
Yeah.
like it really hit home for me. I was like, oh yeah, that I am a little addicted to that feeling
Yeah.
of like looking
Oh yeah.
into that little hurt. Like, I don't know, like you feel like you've lost something, but it's just makes it that much sweeter, like reflecting back on, beloved memories. You kind of have this feeling like it's not like that anymore. And it just makes it that much more like lovable, I guess. So what nostalgia are you really tapping into with your album, you think?
Actually, I think the No Toys Left to Eat thing isn't really so much a nostalgia kind of thing as it is like uh what is it's just kind of like I guess there's some nostalgia in like growing up and looking back at stupid things you did when you were a kid and and like kind of wishing you could be that dumb again. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I
Did
guess that's
you
kind of like nostalgia.
did you eat any toys legitimately as a kid?
I don't think I was really that much of a toy eater.
There
um, yeah,
are
I
two
don't.
types of people in the world: toy eaters and everyone else. Did you
Yeah,
eat the plate? Is that Play-Doh in your album cover? Was that the reference?
I definitely ate Play-Doh. That's clay, but it's like grown-up Play-Doh, right? Yeah,
I think we all know that salty taste.
dude, we made Play-Doh when I was in kindergarten, and it was like what cornstarch and salt and water. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were eating it by the fistfuls. It's just food. It's
By the fistfuls.
it was like oh my god, yeah. We each had our own little bowl where we could like mix all the ingredients together and then like add food coloring, and yeah, we were all eating it.
Yeah, I think people are lying when they say they did not try a little bit of Play-Doh.
Yeah,
It smells like food, Makes sense.
it just is food. It's not good food, but it's technically food. Until you start like really, rolling it on newspapers and getting sand mixed in there and stuff, then it's probably not as good to eat. Fresh,
So
fresh Play-Doh. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we had to make some at my last job. China and I made homemade Play-Doh for the young art kids.
oh, so you're intimately familiar with the recipe. What is in it? It's food, right? It's
I,
mostly just
I
food ingredients.
yeah, I think it's just cornstarch and I forget what like binds it all together.
Is there glue in it? It's
Yeah,
okay
there
if
is.
it's
There is glue. There's
all
always
right.
glue.
That's
That
fine.
is what it is.
There's nothing wrong with eating a little glue.
I want to dive into the album, man. I want to take it track by track here.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
All right. So first, a little overview.
yeah,
It's white on white, the album cover, and the last track is Winter, and that
yeah.
felt intentional. So I wanted to ask the question: why does it start on such a summery note? Was that intentional?
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's not like I wouldn't call it like a concept album or anything, but there
Mhm.
is definitely like a path that the songs take, and it is like over you know, it.
Seasonal
I
kind of
like
change.
I like it transitioning. Yeah, exactly. So we're starting out super summery and
Yeah,
ending up wintry, and then I'm releasing it in the winter. So I think of it as a winter uh, album.
I
But
do too. And I feel like in its entirety, it really does speak to that. And it has that sort of, I don't want to call it melancholic, but maybe once again, wistful might be a good word for it, or
yeah,
just a little bit more somber in a lot of songs.
yeah, those
And,
are the songs that I like the most.
yeah, and me too. And I really like Kissing Underwater. I want to say that that was actually like immediately really hooked my attention for a number of reasons. I liked the
Dude, that
um,
is a relief because I have not enjoyed that song very much. But we
well,
can. I want to. Yeah, keep going.
you'll be interested to hear the
Yeah.
other side of the coin.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So I when I first listened to it, I was kind of bopping along, especially with those big breaks. I like the dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Yeah. The
And
staccato thing.
I
Yeah.
like the production on it too. I like the EQ on the voice, how it was just a little more MIDI and like crunchy and
Little
backgroundy.
walkie-talkie, like yeah.
Yep, I like that production, and I like the bass and drum rhythm synchronization, those bass stops, and really filling out those the kick drum kind of pattern, like with that bass. It really felt like they were in a good groove, and just a nice chorus. The beginning has a lot, like you do so much character sprinkled in that song with the like, we could taste our first curse words.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
some of
the
the
stuff
other
that makes me cringe so hard when I listen to it. Yeah.
that stuff's like very charactery, which is it's fun and stuff. But yeah, that song I liked a lot, and like it was immediately like grabbed my attention. I was thinking like this is a good kind of like poppy bop, and but it's not like over the top. But I just felt
Poppy bop, not over the top.
after I listened to the whole thing, though, I felt it was out of place with the rest of the songs. I just thought it was a great song. I just thought this album was so much more cold and wintry and a little sad that I was like, that song was so summery. I feel like it was in another,
Yeah.
like it was a single right before this album. Like, I don't
That's
know.
fair.
But I still liked it a lot. So there's no actual
Cool. Thanks. Yeah,
criticism on it.
I'll say I definitely thought about not putting it on the album. Mostly
It's,
because I just like, yeah, I guess it really doesn't fit very well. You're right.
but that
Yeah,
doesn't make it a bad song at all. I still
cool.
enjoy listening to it. So
You know what?
don't hate on it.
Okay, I won't. I won't. The things that I mean, for one thing, I mostly don't really listen to music like that much. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I really like wistful songs, right? Songs
yeah.
that have like some sadness in them. Um, and the other thing, I don't know what it is. I feel like the the phrasing in the lyrics is sometimes kind of clumsy in that song.
Like such as what sticks
You
out
know,
to you.
like the following you down thing. The way that it gets stressed, it's like following you down. It's like,
Uh,
do you know what I mean? It's
a
like,
little bit, but I
yeah,
will say there were some there were some good moments on that where you did the
I
squeeze.
hate that too.
It did the right trick though. It felt like that feeling when you swim too deep and then you're trying to get back up to the surface and you're like,
Yeah, cool. All right,
it
yeah,
gave me that feeling. So I was like, oh, it's all good. It all feels like it's in the same like I'm underwater kind of realm. Oh, Christmas boy is taking a little visit. He just appeared. You want to see him?
yeah. Hey, buddy. Oh my God, your cheeks are so raw. He's gonna cry.
Bye, buddy.
Dang, he's getting big.
No.
I've got one back here.
You got a baby too?
Yeah.
Oh, your cat?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
What's your cat's name again?
This one's Kurt.
This
Yeah,
one?
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Very prestigious.
Yeah.
Does Kurt have a buddy?
Yeah, Chippy. He's in another room right now.
Do they get along pretty well?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they lived together in the foster home before they even came here, so
Oh, that's
basically
cool.
brothers. Yeah,
Do
they're
they
good.
do they snuggle up into the same spot?
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
It's
They're
good.
adorable.
It's good to witness that kind of stuff. It feeds the soul.
Yeah.
Hey, can you give me a refresher on Before the First Time? I can't mentally
Yeah.
recall the melody. or the hook of it.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Give me a little live action here.
Yeah, why not?
Making Explorers history.
Remember this?
Oh yes, I already know it now that you played that.
Yeah.
I'm in love. Yeah, I wanted to say that I don't know if you meant for this, but my favorite parts were the most Elliott Smith sounding bits, and I don't know if you drew any influence there, but on those like da-na-na,
Oh yeah.
like a lot of those bits, and then on the chorus,
Wow, that is super Elliott Smith.
If it had an octave on it, it would really like scream Elliott Smith, like low and high. But I loved those parts, and they
should
were
have sent it to you before I released it.
Oh
I
no,
could have
man!
leaned into that more.
Oh, leaned into it. Yeah, I was gonna say, do not eradicate.
Oh no,
that.
yeah, I love Elliott Smith, dude. I would do anything to make songs like he made.
There was just a few little vocal phrases that I was like, ooh, that was so Elliott Smith, and I loved it. It was great. So
Nice.
that one I thought was really. It wasn't like a song with like a lot of um like hardly any predictability necessarily, like not a chord pattern to cling to, but a good kind of like rhythmic groove.
Yeah.
It really just takes you a little bit all over. So like for me, it wasn't like, oh, this is the hook of the song that I'm going to be singing tomorrow. It was just more like, it's just a nice musical experience. But for those little parts, like I just really love those little phrases that kind of reminded me of Elliott Smith.
That's a great note. I did not notice that, but you're absolutely right. I definitely lifted some that's for sure Elliott Smith inspired.
Oh, cool.
I do think of that song as, and I don't want to like say that Elliott Smith's music isn't happy, but I think of that song as kind of like more of a cute song, you know?
Yeah. The chorus has that that's got the
no, that's Blank Slate. That's you're talking about like
that's Blank Slate.
That's a different song.
The
chorus in this one is like, I said it before the first time, I'll say it again. I'm in love.
That's a big Elliott Smith moment, right?
Yeah. That's so true.
But I love the way it relaxes back into that lush chord. It really is a nice balance of tension and release on that one.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. I thought of that as like maybe I don't know. I mean, I put it in the number 2 spot, which is where you usually put the song that I think is going to be like
the catchy one,
the single. Yeah, exactly.
Weird. Where, I mean, not weird, but it just struck me.
It's not really like that. That honestly makes sense. It's a song that I sat with for a long time. Like I would just play that on guitar before I recorded it. I think before I even like lived here.
Dude, I think I've heard a lot of these little things.
Oh, you've definitely heard a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might be a little biased in enjoying some of it right away, but I'm like, hey, I know this song.
Yeah, that makes tons of sense because I think, I mean, familiarity is the thing that makes music sound like music. You know what I mean? Like, I think that in order to make something sound good, it has to be familiar, but it also has to be like, foreign, a little bit new, right?
Yeah, that's why a lot of like tracks that feel harsh at the beginning, after you kind of warm up to them, it's like, this is my new favorite song.
Yeah, well, if you hear something enough, it starts to sound like music.
Musical, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that song is like way like
it's not super out there, but no. Yeah.
I would put Analon in that place, but in the best way possible. I can't wait to get to that track, but I'll put that in. I'll put that in. I don't even know. Is that how you say it? Analon?
I
Anawani?
call it it's a new one. I just smashed all the words together. That was its working title or like the file save in Logic because
Yeah.
it's a new one where it's like three words, but I
Uh,
just smashed them together because
Anawan is how I read it.
good. I like that
I was
because I wanted it to have a name that was like a made up word.
I was like in the car, kind of thinking like, if I say that wrong, and this is like the name of a country or like something, am I like
Oh
going to be
no,
embarrassed here?
no, you're good.
You're gonna be like, you've never heard of Anawan, like you've never heard of, you didn't cover that in
uh,
history. It sounds like some historical like the War of Anawan or something.
it does, yeah. Anawan. I like that.
But we'll skip backwards to your title track, No Toys Left to Eat.
Yep.
Um, that one's got a really um, the muted trumpets in the verse is what I'm remembering from that. It's
Yep.
got
Yeah.
like kind of thing in the
Yep.
verse, right? And
Yeah.
it's
It
like
does.
very kind of twisty turny sort of feel, and then it opens up for the chorus. What's the chorus of that one?
Um,
I keep thinking Blank Slate whenever I think of the.
this song and Blank Slate, I think, are pretty similar, like energy wise, anyway. The uh,
Oh,
where
the
did you
Rumble Pack. That's right.
go back then? Where did you go back then? Yeah, the rest of it is
Where
you
did
actually.
you go? Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember working on this when I was staying at Joe's place in Washington last summer? We played this song a little bit. It was the day that instead we worked on the one that's like, dum, dum.
Drive.
Yeah, we worked on Drive instead. But you and Joe had the idea where on the like second to last verse, it does like, or and cuts out and then goes boom. That was like that's you and Joe came up with that.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
love
coming
it.
back to me now. But I totally I did not remember that there was any that I kind of had any involvement
Yep.
on that one. That's really cool. And I really liked your kind of twisting vocal melody up into the chorus. It felt like it was like not starting on the chorus, but like curving into the chorus when you do that, like na na na
Oh
na
yeah.
na. It like the way it flows into that chorus is very unpredictable, but very like impressive with the vocal melody. So I enjoyed that song.
Thanks. Yeah. That one was really fun and easy because the verses are just like a blues, like a 12 bar blues pattern. They're just
It,
like made it
does
kind of
it
majory sounding.
does it have the sustained what is it, trumpet or trombone on the chorus?
Oh yeah, I got both of them on there.
It's got like a
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it really reminded me of a band that I don't know if you would even know or remember, but
I'm in here.
Ryan Moat showed them to us a long time ago. They were like a like Norwegian Coldplay, sort of like Scandinavian.
Oh my God, yes, I've been trying to remember what is the band. They had that thing where like they wouldn't play two drums at the same time, right?
um,
Wasn't that like all the drum parts were linear? Like instead of having like hi-hat and kick at the same time, it would all be like,
hmm,
you know?
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm
I mean,
crazy. Their album
I
cover was like a balloon or something, right?
oh man, I don't know what the
Fuck,
album cover
this
looked
is a
like.
made up memory that's just been living in my head of a
You're
band that doesn't exist and I'll never find.
the sound aesthetic of most of this album with the horns on it reminded me so much of that album. So I'm gonna dig a little afterwards and try to
Yeah. All right.
send
The
you
fact
that.
that Ryan Moat, that's a good lead. I'm gonna actually, I'll hit him
it,
up too, but please also you also try. I feel like you are closer at grasping the name of this book.
I'll know it by tonight. I because
Okay, cool.
yeah, they've got that song like Scandinavian something. Does that
Oh
sound
my God, you're
familiar?
right. Yes, it does. Scandinavian love or something?
Yeah, Scandinavian lover. Oh man,
Asbjorn? Is this right?
What did you say?
Asbjorn or something.
Nah,
It's got
I
like this
don't.
weird fucking oh. I don't think this is right either, though.
Oh man.
I was.
Well, I don't want to get too detracted by
No,
that.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
It'll come to me. But
Yeah,
I think once you hear it, you'll be like, ooh, there is a lot of sound
yeah.
aesthetic similarities.
Well, they also had like a kind of the baritone vocals too, right?
Yeah. Which you very much kind of dip down and oh kind of stuff, and they had a
Yeah,
lot of that too. And those long sustained kind of like harmonizing horns really made me think of that. So,
I cannot
but
wait to listen to this again.
now
It's been way too long. It's gonna be
the
great.
next song on your album actually was my next like it was the next like wow or perk up moment for me. Heaven for Bugs.
You liked Heaven for Bugs? Oh, good. All right. I didn't know if people would like that one. Not that I don't like it. Yeah, the only note I've received from this song is that Robbie couldn't figure out what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Which, like, yeah,
I
I
think I
get
heard
it.
something about being in the ground and like, man, it's good to be a bug.
That's definitely not a lyric, but I'm pleased that that's what you got out of it.
At first, when I couldn't understand the vocoder, I was thinking like, is he talking about insects or computer bugs?
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about insects, but
Like
that's
where when a
a good
bug
point.
gets, like the debug log, and like
Right,
you
yeah.
eradicate a bug and it goes to bug heaven.
Huh, that's fun. That's fun to think of them, yeah, personifying errors in your code. Ooh, I like that actually. I might have to do that later.
I really love the ending of that song though. It was just so like it's like cute and like very pretty to me, like how like it does that like twinkly little insect chirping, and like you have
Yeah.
the cute little garden piano playing. It sounds
You
like
know what that you know what it is though? I don't know if you noticed this. I don't think people will that much, but the
the
that
insect MIDI noise.
no, the outro in Heaven for Bugs is just a new one, track 7.
Oh, really?
It's the same part, except instead of being on a big piano, it's on like a little toy harp thing.
It's like it's almost like
Yeah.
Saria's song.
Oh my God, I've been trying to think of which Zelda song it sounds like. You're fixing all of these problems in my brain. All right,
But
yes. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the yeah, let's see if I can even play this right
it
now.
it never hit upon those dissonant parts of the mode though.
No, it doesn't go into the chorus thing. It's just the verse part of it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can hear it now. I can.
Bing, ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really like that song, and I will say it might get the award for best mix
Okay.
because I think your percussion was just perfectly integrated in that. Always mixing like full drums is more of a challenge with every song,
Yeah.
but the
Oh my
fact
God,
that
yeah.
yeah, the fact that you went with just the hand percussion on that one, it didn't. I think it didn't compress it when you exported it, so therefore all the transients, it was way more dynamic. It was just louder, like right off the
Mm.
bat. I was like, oh whoa, this song's like really has a lot of presence to it. And I think it just didn't compress it because there weren't as many peaks probably from like
That,
snare and stuff.
I think you're right. Yeah. I
But
don't love working on the full drum set. It's really not my favorite thing. I'm not gonna do it myself next time. I'll tell you that much.
did you finger drum out a lot of it?
Yeah. Yeah, with this thing. I did that, and then I would have, the like Logic drummer come
Yeah,
up with something just to get me started, and then
right.
like do this to tweak it, and then like tons of copying and pasting or like adding in a fill very manually. It's just so much work.
I did. I don't know why my lighting just turned way cold
I
all
kind of
of a
like it. Yeah,
sudden.
you look. Yeah, you're like slowly ascending into like a
Yeah,
UFO or something.
angelic to the core. um, but yeah, that wait, what the fuck were we just talking about?
We're talking about trying to mix full
Oh yeah,
drums.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to say that I faced a lot of the same kind of stuff that you did. Where fortunately, I had the MIDI kit so I could get some live performance out of it, but like it would either just not pick up certain stuff, and I'd have to like manually do a little snare roll and then like adjust the dynamic of each hit so it sounds natural. It like
Yep.
becomes very tedious, very
So tedious.
fast. So
I mean, I don't even have the MIDI kit, so for me, it was
yeah,
nothing but tedium.
auto drummer and finger tapping, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think that, I mean, I won't lie. I think I like the hand percussion like most. I liked
I
what
like it more
was.
too.
And I'm totally just, maybe I'm just on that note right now because I'm trying to mic up my acoustic drum kit and like
Oh, yes.
putting a
Nice.
lot more care into that. So now I'm reflecting on even my own last album and being like, oh man, like, can people hear the fakeness in these drums?
I thought the drums sounded amazing, but
Yeah.
I mean, they
Okay.
definitely sound better than on mine.
Well, I had mixing help with that, and the
Yeah.
mix engineer, and he
Yeah.
did something. He saturated them, which really kind of adds that like more raw kind of crunch and fuzziness to it. So I don't know if you've gotten into that with Logic, just going to the compressor and then turning it to soft, um,
Oh, yeah, the distortion
soft,
toggler thing.
yeah, and then just
Yeah.
adding just a little bit of that distortion to stuff can
I would,
really make
yeah.
it pop.
I played with, actually, yeah, I used the soft distortion in the compressor, like maybe a little too much.
Oh yeah.
I would just put that on everything,
It
truly. Yeah.
brightens it all up. It like
Yeah.
really does make it more present and more level too. But
I did that, and then yeah, I'd use the exciter a lot. Things that I didn't really understand, but was like, why does this just always sound better? I would just
yeah.
they were just like a recipe that I would put it in there, not really understanding what I was doing.
Okay. Yeah, I did a lot of that and then sent it off to the
Yeah,
engineer, mix and master guy, and he was like, take all this stuff off, like strip it back and
yeah,
let me work from a clean slate here. I was like, okay. I guess I kind of went overboard. I would do parallel compression where it would be like compressors on top of compressors and like
uh-huh.
using one at like a high compression, but a small amount of it, and then another one with a low amount of compression, but more of it. And he ended up just being like, this is a headache. So
Yeah,
I learned some lessons, but yeah,
yeah,
I think we've spent a lot more time honing in the skills of creation and instrumental stuff. And
right.
like, this is just
Yeah,
a whole nother skill set.
exactly. But it's like tangentially related, so I'll
Yeah.
always like it's always I don't want to say it's fun because I didn't really love doing it that much, but there's definitely some satisfaction you get out of working on things that are like a part of the chain of creation for a song, even if
Yes.
they're not your favorite part.
I think I've honestly grown to love mixing.
That's good.
I feel like learning a few things has made me feel a lot more like uh, I don't know, less worried in the process when something's not quite sounding juicy enough. It's like, it's okay, I'll get to it later. Before, I
Yeah.
think those sort of things would be daunting, and I would try to get it to sound perfect while recording it, which is always a good idea, I guess, to get like a nice take. But if you're like, if the drums are sounding all papery thin, like from the acoustic kit, but they're not mixed, I think in the past I would have thought that was like something on me in the process of recording it. Now
Right.
when I go in to mix the drums, they sound totally different from the dry recording. So it's not as stressful anymore, I guess, like in the
That's a really
process.
good point. Just having a little bit of knowledge of the mixing and mastering process lets you like rest easy during the parts where you shouldn't be stressing about those things.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that too. I used to, yeah, worry a lot when like the vocals were coming through and like they're like almost inaudible or something.
Yeah.
Like
Or
before I would
like
even know to put compression on them at all. Now,
that, or like the loud parts are just too dynamically like
yeah,
loud, and that compression really helps make it uniform. So yeah, it's nice to have like a little reassurance that you can go back and kind of make it right. Did you end up? And this might be like probing too deep here, but I'll just start by saying I use a little bit of pitch correction on a few notes on my
oh
album, and
yeah, Oh
Did
my
you
God, yeah.
did you find yourself getting obsessive with it, or just being like, just this one note is gonna get pulled up to A4 or whatever?
Oh no, I did it on every note.
That's
I
I
just would
mean,
like there's a thing in Logic where you can just double click it and it just like puts it on the right line. I mean, I wasn't doing like fancy stuff. I was just basically like highlighting everything and being like, yeah, put it where it's
okay.
supposed to be. Mostly it was there already. So
It
I,
did
I
it.
think some songs I didn't do that. Or I mean, I didn't even really know what I was doing with it. So
I mean,
so like
it didn't come across like pitch corrected at all, actually. So
cool. Yeah.
I mean, it sounded very like natural performances. I think there
I
was
mean,
only
I did
one.
so many takes of everything. I would get like a good take first, and then I just did the pitch correction for my own uh like secure self secure. What am I looking for? What's the to make myself feel like confident that it was going to be on pitch,
Okay,
that I wasn't
yeah,
mishearing it.
I did the same exact thing, man. So I think it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty standard practice. I'm gonna really push myself on the next album to just try to let as much of the natural take sit there as possible, because it's just a challenge for me. So I would like to try to face that challenge. But
I like that. That's a good challenge.
I think that like the pitch correction, yeah, it can be like, what do you call it, Pandora's box, or snake, not snake oil. What's the better analogy for it? It's a slippery slope.
Sure.
It can quickly destroy a pretty good vocal performance if like um, the vibrato is being totally straightened out, or
Oh
like
yeah.
things are just like hard pitch shifting instead of ramping up to notes. Like I've heard it done wrong, and I've done it wrong myself, and kind of heard the like bad effect of it. So I think there is some from that guy Jacob from Blue Karma, just great words of wisdom from him, were that sometimes the imperfections actually are the special part about it. And
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
he said, I don't think music needs to be perfect to have an emotional impact on people. And in fact, perhaps the fact that it's not perfect will give it a greater emotional impact. So I really kind of I took that to heart, and I've been trying to
That is
let it
really good advice.
seep
Yeah.
in. Because it's true, when you hear someone's voice like break a little bit, and like, like those nice vocal fry kind of moments that are like, you can hear just like little imperfections and flaws, it brings the humanity out of it, and you like suddenly become a lot more interested in
Yeah,
making
you're
music.
right. I think it's hard to prioritize making your own music emotionally impactful because there's like a vulnerability to doing that, right? You don't, you don't, I don't often like to look at my music as, I mean, I obviously making stuff emotional is the most important thing, but like it's also just hard to do.
As in, are you saying you don't do it for other people to have a reaction, or is it just like a
I
um
guess like in terms of the fact that leaving in imperfections makes it more emotional. That is true. I think it just can be hard to put yourself out there like that.
oh, I
You know?
see. Yeah, like the vulnerability of leaving an off-pitch note can feel like a
Yeah,
little too exposed. Like,
right. And that's why it's emotional, right? But that's also what makes it hard to do that. It's like that kind of emotional vulnerability is hard to share with strangers. It's not that there's really that many strangers listening to my music, but yeah, I don't know.
I think
I think
people
you're,
do see themselves though in those flaws, and it
yeah,
makes them love it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. It's definitely the right call. I think
Do you
I'll have to work on that.
do you write your music for anyone else, with the intention of just really wanting them to hear it and get something out of it?
Um, that's a great question. I don't I don't think so. I mean, I know, I guess then another similar question would be like, would you still make music if you weren't going to show it to anybody? And like, yeah, of course,
Hmm.
because it's just the process of doing it is fun. Um, so I don't think so. I mean, yeah, a lot of the time I won't even really be able to hear the music uh, from like the perspective of other people until I've released it. You know what I mean? Like the whole
Yeah.
time you're working on it and you're listening to it, you really have this like one. I think Heaven for Bugs is a great example because I know what the words are
Yeah.
and I can hear them really clearly, and they're not very clear. But I didn't really notice that until I released it, and then I'm like listening to it, imagining being somebody else listening to it, and being like, "Oh, that is just unrecognizable as words." Like, but even on much in much smaller ways, that same phenomenon happens, right? You'll have made something for yourself, listening to it as yourself, and then you'll release it. You'll listen back to it, which I do compulsively after I release a thing, just to try to prove to myself that it's worth listening to. You know what I mean?
I
And
can
then
definitely
and you'll hear
relate.
it differently because you just released it, and now somebody else is hearing it, and you're like keenly aware of that.
Every time someone like I saw some meme circling around on Instagram. Some other musician friend posted saying like, the meme is like of somebody saying like, when somebody tells me they like my song and I immediately go to listen to it like right after to like
To try
experience what
to
they
pretend you're them and hear what they heard in it. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, it's so hard not to have tunnel vision when creating such a big piece of art like that, like an album. Like honestly, it's not even that commonplace nowadays to do a whole album, let alone do it all yourself and like, write, record, produce, and try to conceptualize something, doing all the lyrics, guitar, bass, and stuff. That's a big workload. And like trying to think about such nuance of like, can people hear is this loud enough for the general public's ears on this particular vocal part is like, it might fall so far down the list of
It's
like
exhausting
priorities.
trying to catch all those marbles.
I,
Yeah.
that's why I had to pass it off last time. I
That's
realized
the
that
right call. I'm doing that next time. I'm not bothering with this whole thing again.
it
I
was
have
great. Yeah,
friends who do it, so
it was good to get that outside perspective. And there were things I was trying to fight or tune on, not fight him, but like, be like, please turn this up, turn that down. And he'd be like, nah, I really don't like the bass is the best part of this song.
hmm,
I don't think I should turn it down. And I'd be like, okay, I didn't even realize that. I'm glad you just stuck up for your decision there.
that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, this guy was like really a part of the whole creative thing, kind of.
Yeah, it made a big difference getting
That's
his
awesome.
it, yeah, just everything about it made a big difference. So I was really grateful to him, and he was just really great about communicating it. And I would just write out, a few adjustments on the mix or whatever, and give my reasons. I would say adjustment, turn this down a few dB. My reason, I wanted this thing to shine a little more, and he'd, either be like, "Hey, that makes sense to me," or he'd be like, kind of,
Hmm,
you need a little bit of outside perspective right now. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it was cool. I met him over Reddit. I just posted one
For
of
real?
my, yeah, I posted
What?
one of my tracks of same code, and he was like, I really like this, man, but I hear a few like things that could be sort of patched up in the mix. If I do a free mix, like, would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he did such a good job on it. Like instantly I knew it was better than what I had come up with, that I was like, okay, like, do you want to do a whole album together? I'll pay you and stuff. And
That's so cool.
worked out nicely. So now we're good friends, and we're doing a collab song together that he's supposed to send back his half of today. But um, as much I do
Well,
want
I
to
can't
jump,
wait for that.
yeah. And on that note, I don't want to get too detoured here, but while
No,
it's
not detoured.
yeah, the conversation's winding, but I want to let you know about an idea and invite and ask you to do a collab song on the next Dream Shark album. I'm thinking of doing a collab on every single track with a different musician.
Ooh, that's fun. Yeah,
Some
dude. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, whatever you want. I got trumpet, trombone, I got bongos, and
I
obviously
know
guitar, bass.
I'm certain we'll come up with something great, and
Oh yeah.
we can do it at any point. But I'll also be back between December 24th and January 15th.
Oh, dope. I'll be on Cape. Are you gonna be
So
on Cape?
yeah, I'll be
All
there for
right, yeah.
like
We'll meet
25
up.
days.
You know they have a new game night. This is so tangential. We can talk about this part later.
Cape
Yeah.
Cod fun.
Play
Cape
some
Cod
Friday Night Magic.
Magic cards.
Yeah, dude.
The Gathering.
Yeah, Shane Cornello works at this place called Dark Water. We're gonna go there. It'll be fun. We'll have a
Cool.
good time. Play some Magic with Dan.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I on that note, I can't wait to kind of jump back into my card game that I was working on and continue
Oh
getting
yeah,
some
that's right. Yeah, I was
feedback from.
expecting a prototype of that at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I have the like printable version that you can try. We just ended up writing out the rules, China and I, and it was like so long and convoluted that we're like, ah, man, we need to
Mm,
really
I see.
make this more lean and mean. So Nick and
Cool.
I are working on art though together for the cards. We've been meeting up over FaceTime and doing digital paintings of the different characters and coming up with the lore and stuff. So
Nice.
got some different art collab stuff going on, but I definitely I've become a little lonely creating all by myself, and I've gotten such a high and such a thrill out of like making that music with you and Joe. Like I still listen
Yeah,
to that
that's what
drive,
kicked me. I didn't start working on this until I got back from that. I was like,
and
nah, yeah, I got it now. It is so energizing working with some other people. Yeah.
yes, it so is. So yeah, I want to do that. I might not be able to go over the top with my corny plan of releasing it on 2/2/22 and have two musicians
Ooh.
on every song. Two.
Wait, that's so soon.
I know, but
There's no way, right?
if I hustled, maybe I'd be able to make an album.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I can tell you I wouldn't be able to do it. But
Yeah, I don't think I can either. I also have too many other little projects in the background with the other
yeah.
crap. So
Well, that's important, I think, having I mean, they're not distractions, but things that take your mind off of letting your subconscious mind work on stuff um, while you're working on stuff is good.
that's such a good point there. I think that is very much like kind of describes my process. I am so
That was one
interested.
thing I noticed a lot working on this one. The last two little EPs I made, I just like tried to get them done so quick. I just finished them and released them as soon as they were done. This one I had, just by nature of it being 12 songs, I had songs done while I was working on other songs, and then I would come back to the songs that were done and like make them so much better, I think, than
Yeah,
they used to be. And then I realized like you can do that. You can just keep working on a thing, and yeah, it usually gets better.
yeah. There is a point though. This is another great thing that I heard, and I don't know where I heard it, but it also really impacted me. So it's like the two ends of the scale there. It's like what you're saying is like, don't rush it, put that time in and really make it rich and full of quality. But then there's also a point where no one's ever heard the thing you first created and you turned creation A into creation C, and it no longer even, it like,
Yeah,
I think the thing is, as musicians and artists, we can get bored with the project at hand, and so bored to the point where we want to change everything before anyone's
right.
even heard anything. So I think that yeah, there's a point where like adding more keeps making it better, and then there's an obsessive point that like just starts dismantling everything you made.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna jump right back into it. Now we're finally at blank slate, which that's got the chorus of and
yeah.
I know, I keep fucking up the melody, but
That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one's. I like that one. It's uh yeah.
what's
Uh,
the verse to that one?
uh oh, the verse is the part that's like. I don't know how well that's coming through,
I
but
hear it, but it's not like evoking any memory here.
um
What's the melody on it?
uh uh
Oh yeah, da da da, da na, 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 na. Something like that,
I
right?
can't think of it either. Yeah.
Da, 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 da. That's what I'm remembering from it.
Yeah.
Some little descending thing there.
That's too high. I think it's like call.
Na, na, na. Yeah, that's a bit of a hook right there. Na, 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 na. Do you know where
Yeah, I think
that's
that's probably the
coming
most
from?
catchy song on this album.
Oh yeah, it's got a ba da da da, kind of
Da,
syncopated beat,
da,
right?
da, da. Yeah. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Ba da da
Yeah,
da da. And then it's
very.
like.
That one's just got a real rhythm to it. I
Yeah.
think. I
Oh
think.
yeah. My favorite
Oh,
part of that one is the intro and outro that are just like. You know, yeah.
oh yeah.
Where it just
I.
repeats, I don't want anything, I don't got anything.
That's right. Yes. Ba, bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum, bum,
Yeah, exactly.
bum. Yeah,
With the
that
horns that are just
one's.
like bow, 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 bow. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
very
song's like the grooviest one on the album.
for sure. I would definitely agree with that. Next up is what, Mermaid?
Yep, that one's just a cute minute and a half long, like little tale, I guess. I don't know.
Tail.
A yeah, there's
That
not much to say about that one. I think it's like a fun guitar part, and then I just put in all these funky little weirdo instruments. There's like ocarina on that one. There's
okay.
no drum set on it, so it has that advantage, similarly to the other.
The
Uh,
um the track kind of felt like Bugs in Heaven a little bit to me, just kind of like
yeah,
something that kind of tinkers on in its own little
exactly.
way.
Yeah, it's similar to Bugs, Heaven for Bugs in a couple ways. Like definitely no full drums, which is I think an advantage, and also what else? It there's no like typical structure. Like Heaven for Bugs is the same thing repeated 3 times. Mermaid is the same thing repeated twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're similar like that. No
On
verse,
Heaven,
chorus. Yeah.
I just need to clarify. On Heaven for Bugs, was that end part supposed to be symbolic of them rising up to heaven and like becoming one with God again?
I it wasn't, but I like that a lot. It definitely is like a heavenly thing at the end there. Yeah, it's I think of that song, so I don't really like to have like explicit um meanings in mind for stuff a lot of the time. I would much rather have like just a really ambiguous like blob of an idea. I think a lot of the times if I give something a concrete meaning, then the lyrics become too explicit and like it misses that thing that uh, it misses that abstraction that lets it like capture a feeling instead of just being about a story or something like that.
Okay.
At least for me, so like Heaven for Bugs is not really about anything at all. That's what I'm trying to say is it's not about anything, but
I
it's
feel
kind
like
of like it sounds like it's about like a robot discovering a defunct anthill and like being like these things died, but they made something really cool, and that's about it. Yeah,
do you know the song Jesus by Brand New?
yeah, yeah.
You know how there's a break at the end and then it starts back in again?
It's been I'm gonna be honest. I don't listen to brand new anymore because like you're not supposed to. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
because Jesse Lacey, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So I
But
just stopped. I get my brand new fix from a band called Foxing. That's similarly edgy and emo, but without any problematic history.
okay. Well, anyways, the end of the song just kind of like comes to a stop, but then comes back in with that guitar line that do 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 do
Yeah,
do
yeah.
do. And I always just took it very literally of like, oh, that little break must have been like symbolic of Jesus dying and then like coming back after 3 days, and then the music starts up again and it's like his life resuming or something. So I tend to like
That's
interpret
cool.
things maybe a little bit more on the nose or literally like that. But when I heard the end of your song, I was like, and
It made
I'll just throw it out there that I'm not particularly like,
I
I
like
don't,
that.
I'm not religious or anything, but I do have,
Sure.
interest in spiritualism. But like, yeah, that's just kind of how I saw it. Was like after they die, that very peaceful part of the song was like them like ascending into a beautiful, like glowing, I don't know, heavenly scene.
So I named it Heaven for Bugs before I had written any lyrics or added that part to the end. Um, I I just think it's a cute phrase, and the I mean it does like kind of bring up like a moral question, right? Like our we don't really care about killing bugs. You know what I mean? What's up with that? What's up
Yeah,
with
I
that? They're
mean,
alive.
it's you could apply that metaphor to like, you know, what about when us humans are looked at as the bugs by,
Exactly.
I don't know,
What if
someone
there's
else?
some intelligence in the universe that's the same order of magnitude more complex than we are to bugs?
Yeah.
It's like, should they have a moral obligation not to murder us? We don't have that with bugs.
Something about the song is awfully cute though. I can't put my finger on it.
Cute is for sure what I was aiming for with.
And it's not too try hardy about the cuteness. It's not like it's in your face like, whoa. It's just like
Yeah, that's
you
true.
imagine these bugs like kind of crawling along and like going about their lives, and like
Yeah,
they're just humble little creatures, and you're like,
exactly. They don't even need heaven. Why would they? They don't want it. They're just bugs, and they're cute.
it's a good track, man. I like all that it evokes.
But
We're
yeah,
at
Mermaid is similar kind of thing. It's it's a little less cute though, isn't it?
I
I don't.
didn't quite hit the spot for me as much,
Yeah,
but Heaven
that
for
makes
Bugs
sense.
is an easier label to like slap your mind on. It's an easier
True.
mental image to enjoy.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing too, man. Like I listened through your album 3 times, and I'm still probably just
Thank you.
grazing the surface of it. But someone who listens through it and is just being real, like like whatever about, like, people are so quick to just like
Oh yeah. No
mash their
one.
own ideas together. Like, yeah, you wrote that song about a mermaid, and like, uh, I don't know,
Yeah.
like, I liked your song about the mermaids. Like, is what someone might tell you. Like, oh, did
Right.
you just read the title and assume like so?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do think most people who listen to stuff that is like indie produced, listen to it like pretty nonchalantly. You know what I mean? They're not going to give it as much of a credit as someone who they already can trust to make good music. So
Even
it
if
is
they don't,
it's an uphill battle getting someone to seriously listen through an album. I
it
appreciate
is.
that you're doing it. You are one of probably like three people who are actually critically listening to my album.
Well, I would just love if my friends did the same, because I put all that, time into it. So it's like
Yeah,
I know how much it means to me.
right. I
So I
think
can
that is
only assume how much it means to you and Joe.
exactly. Us musicians will absolutely always do that for each other because we can sympathize. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like other friends of yours, they're not going to feel like they've discovered you, so you lose that battle immediately. Well,
Yeah.
like them being able to like go to their friends and be like, I found this new artist, nobody knows about him, but they also like you're not a famous musician, so they're not going to listen to it like this is all like already expecting it to be worthy of critical analysis. And yeah, it's just
Yeah,
hard.
there's so many reasons why people are fickle nowadays. I mean, TikTok's not helping with like, I can only do 15 seconds. Is your song longer than 15 seconds?
That's true.
Yes, I don't want to hear it then.
Dude, I'm a little addicted to TikTok as well. So.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's
a battle we've lost as a society.
I haven't dove into TikTok, but everywhere is modeling the same consumption form of 15-second scrolls, and like yeah, it is a great way to like just lose your mind for an hour, or just
exactly
lose all focus for an hour. But anyways, a new one. We're on a new one.
We made it. The back half of the album. So this is where I think it starts to get really good. This is where the 7 through 12, those songs I like. Actually, I mean, as a tiny aside, this is like 12-song album. When I was making it, I was like thinking a lot about like the old vinyls where you'd flip it.
Dude.
And so like, yeah.
Here, wait 1 second. Can I show you something?
Yeah, please do.
Maybe something to consider.
You have a vinyl of it? Oh, that's so cool.
It was kind of pricey to get the manufacturing on it, but I will say once I got this baby in the mail, I was pretty pleased.
Ooh, that's dope. It has the little head in the middle. Oh, that's so cool.
It's got the A side and the B side.
Nice.
I don't have a record player though.
Yeah, I have one, but it's not like, how it's supposed to sound better when you play it on a record player. It doesn't sound better on my record player because mine it has bad speakers. It's like not gonna work.
Is it like a kind of a newer record player, like a?
No, it's one of those like things you would just get at Newberry Comics. That's just like one unit thing with like, speakers are on the front of the thing. Where like Robbie Bruce has the. Oh, that's so dope, dude. Man, that's so cool. You only made one of those?
Oh no, I've got 200 of them.
Oh, for real? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to get one of those. But yeah, Robbie has like a legit record player system.
Sounds way better.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. It really does feel like a little like almost live.
Wow. Yeah, I'm starting to kind of sense what that digital like setback is, that people are kind of talk about it being harsher and more cold sounding. Yeah. I hear it now that I'm trying to record my amp and like acoustic drums and stuff. I'm starting to hear that difference of like, it capturing a little bit of that room fuzz and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, recording guitar through an amp is so much better. I did that for this one too, and I hadn't done it before. And it's like, I mean, even my amp's not great, but yeah, it's still better than just DIing the guitar.
Yeah, something about those digital amps just sound a little cheesy.
Yeah.
That digital distortion and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for your track, Anawan. So yeah, the second side of the album, and that's really kind of how I divided it in my mind too. As I was listening through, I thought after Mermaid comes kind of the darker winter, like more somber half of it.
Yeah.
And this song certainly kicks it off in the most haunting way possible. Like this song
his song piano part. Oh yeah, that piano sound too. I'm like obsessed with it.
It is beautifully terrifying. It sounds like the musings of a madman.
It does. Yeah. I mean that's another one I've been sitting on for like a long time. Just the piano part. I would play that. Like I'm not much of a pianist, so it became like a thing I would just play at the piano. Well, like I don't really play it very often. And
dude, I do the chicken peck on the piano. You can play more competently than that.
But I only know like I'll only like play a handful of things whenever I get the chance to play a piano, and that's like one of the things I've been doing for like years now. I'll just like that little thing. I don't know when I made it up,
What is it?
but
Is it a specific mode or scale? It has such an interesting dissonance to it that I've not really heard
it's
specifically in
like
any other songs.
yeah, the chords are like flipped inside out, kind of,
Could
so
you
that
play it? Do you got your
yeah.
piano nearby?
Yeah, let me just grab it. This guy up here. You can see why I don't do this very much.
Oh, I thought you were tapping out on the drum keyboard thing a second ago. Is that
I
not
was,
your?
but that thing's too small for me to actually, because of the way that these chords are like split up. It doesn't work on the little guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe you need a new MIDI piano. That's a wider one.
How does this work exactly? I think it's like, yeah. Yeah. So that's the first note is just this, like a super dissonant thing. It's like, right? Yeah. No. No. It's been a while. All right, hang on.
The verses seem relatively calming and relaxing to me.
Oh, you mean the
That crazy chorus bit where it's
yeah, yeah,
dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun.
So the cool thing that happens in there is is there's a part that's not chords, it's just descending fourths.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Ding dong ding dong dong.
yeah. And you can get some really, because if you keep doing that all the way, you'll hit all 12 notes. You know what I mean? There's no repetition in it. Really,
It sounded as though your
background.
guitar was doing kind of a canon to that, like a
Yep. Yeah. Well, the guitar goes up while the piano goes down, but it does do the same thing.
so it's like a counterpoint
Yeah.
melody. Yeah, it really conveys this like chaotic.
That's not it though, right?
The ascending part of it.
That's it. That's not it. Yeah. That's not it.
That part right there. Can you tell me what the bass chord is against
Yeah,
that high part?
so it starts on a G and then an E and then an E flat, which
What's
is yeah,
the
already
what's the
so
relationship to it though? That chord underneath those high notes, are they creating like a minor seventh or a minor sixth or what? It's like there's something such a harsh interval that's really cool. That right there is where it really. It's just like a really suspended chord that's like super dissonant.
yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely like a twisting and turning melody.
Yeah, so that's like yeah, what I don't know.
So much dissonance
I
in
don't
there.
know. Yeah, there's a lot of dissonance there.
It's so cool though. It really makes you like feel like you're having like a mental fit that's like, I don't know, taking over your brain.
Well, the chord would be, but it's not. I can't explain it in terms of like music theory.
It really interests me actually in regards to that though. Like I want to know why it does what it does to me because it's very unique. I haven't heard a song that like makes me feel like it makes me want to make angry kind of mad eyebrows and then like kind of like be optimistic and like angry and like it has this swirling sort of like it like is confusing how I want to feel with it, but it's like so haunting and just and then I really love when it goes
Oh
on
yeah,
that super
yeah, yeah,
loud
yeah.
part. It
That
gets
part turned
really
out great.
intense.
That is like almost certainly the most dramatic. I mean, there that one and then um, something you don't have are the two like super extra, like really dramatic songs on there.
My
Uh,
two favorites. In fact,
Yeah,
something you don't have is my top favorite.
cool. Me too. That one's my favorite. Yeah,
I
you and I are always aligned on that. My like conga line. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think yeah that one uh Smoke Angel I liked and it was catchy, but I'm just gonna graze
yeah,
over that and get to something you don't have because
yeah.
that one I loved. I don't. I'm guessing you used MIDI synth horns to do the.
No, dude, I played trombone.
Oh, it's
Just
so
just
good!
four trombones. Just I so let me
Wow.
explain the whole process here. I was on TikTok and I saw someone posted a thing where it was just like four different, maybe it was like three, I don't know how many trombones they had, but all of them sliding from one chord to the next.
Yeah,
And it's like a sound I hadn't heard, like this really cool texture,
I
right?
love
Because it's
it.
like, yeah, it's brass, and then that's like, yeah. Well, brass is usually this kind of prickly sound, right?
Yeah,
Like it's kind of it's very sharp, and
yeah.
then you add that like buttery smoothness of sliding from thing to thing.
It was
Um,
so good, man.
I
I
just
can't
copied it.
believe it.
So what I
I
did is, I
I'm
mean, yeah,
amazed actually that you did that. That you recorded it because it sounded so clean and
yeah,
just nicely harmonized. I could have sworn you
it
just
took
hit it on
so
the
many
keys.
takes. No, but so I've just found each of the like harmonic series in this thing and just went to the lowest it could go and then up to the highest and just like found out where each of those could work and like what positions would actually sound like a harmony together. There's a lot of like detective work to get that started. And then I recorded it, just the trombones thing, and was like, that's dope, and left it there for like months.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
know what I
you
was ever gonna do with it. I just knew I had to make something out of it, and then
you knew it was great right away though.
yeah. Well, I knew it was great when I heard it on my phone scrolling through the thing. I was like, I need to copy that sound.
That it was so good. Yeah, I not only love that part. I mean, it's a little more up my sound aesthetic alley. I tend to like
Yeah,
things that are more a little ambiguous. Like, is that a synth or is that a horn? Like,
yeah.
typically what I
I
like to
put like a
lean into.
lo-fi filter over the whole thing to make them sound, yeah,
Yeah,
crunched together a little bit.
but they could be mistaken as a type of brassy synth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that it really just like
Especially with the like I mean there's also a what do you call it? Like an organ happening at the same time.
okay, I might have to kind of listen into that.
It's playing more of a melodic thing.
I think that's
It's
what I
just
was just
very much in the
taking
background.
as like it was a MIDI synth
Yeah.
horn, kind of like, but
Yep.
I love that. And then the vocal melody is just beautiful in it. Like it's your best vocal take I think I've ever heard. The
Thanks. I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. It was nice. I can tell you one thing that's helped me out a lot with vocals for this one is I mean, like I drive now, so I will sing in the car a lot, and that's like been really good for me actually like testing. I have a like really loud voice when I try to hit high notes, like full voice at least.
yeah.
It's like makes me so uncomfortable to do that
Why don't you
because of
just?
how loud it gets.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is it that
so
you like wish to maintain it at chest voice, or are you saying
no,
that
I
like
don't. I
it's
I'll
hard to
let
flip to head voice in those
I can flip
moments?
to head voice okay at this point. I've practiced a lot for that, but yeah, it's that is hard to do. But like I like the sound of chest voiced high
Yeah.
notes. It will like shake my room. So I did this thing for this one where I like created a 4-point structure out of musical stands I had and just put like a dozen blankets on it and put it on a rug. And I put the just big enough for me to like crouch inside it. And
You're
I put the
crouching
mic
and
in there.
singing.
Yeah, I was like sitting
It's
cross-legged.
hard.
I would sit like this and
It's not easy to sing like that.
no, it's so hard, but it made me feel so much more secure about it. Like a lot of what has made my vocal takes bad, I think, in the past has been me like not being able to commit to doing them.
What,
Or
hitting the
like
pitch on the high notes?
uh
Like falling flat a little bit?
yeah, falling flat or just yeah, withdrawing some of the fullness even. Or just like
Okay.
writing parts that I knew I could sing without, you know, making without being heard, you know.
What do you mean by that one? Writing parts that.
Um like I would always cap myself at like a middle E. Um which is pretty high for me. But for this album, I mean, there are many songs I went up to like a G,
Yeah,
which
you
I would
do.
never write a part like that for myself before because I knew I wouldn't want to record it.
Interesting. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm in agreement with you that sometimes chest voice is kind of preferable, but I tend to not really think of my range limit when I'm thinking.
Oh,
I just don't think of what my highest note is. I just think, oh, I'll just go falsetto if I need to.
that's a
But
good perspective to have. Yeah.
but I mean, I get that it's like if you want it to be chest voice, there are limitations there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
With
you also have
falsetto,
pretty
though, I
well
feel like
developed falsetto. I think yeah, I have a hard time flipping between the two for one thing. I think I do it pretty nicely on this song actually, which is like a
it's
rare thing.
beautiful, man. It's so good. It's like I showed it to China, and she's like, "Damn, this sounds like it could be in a movie."
You told me that actually. That was really sweet. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was. She was really blown away by it, but yeah, I was equally blown away by it. I thought the melody was beautiful. I thought the execution, like the take, was beautiful. I love, vocal fry can go. I don't know. You've heard that term, right? Vocal fry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can be cringeworthy if it's not done right. And it was
Yeah.
just it. You laced each word with it just in the right way that it didn't feel like it was this like the sexiest
Yeah. No.
around. It's really nice. It just felt so sweet and heartfelt, and like I love those high notes of the that like kind of descending bit there. And
Yeah.
I've been singing the end part. I think it's been the biggest hook of your album has been that. If you're looking for something, you can find.
Yeah.
And the big, crescendo at the end.
And then it just cuts off. That's the most dramatic thing I could do. I was like, I love that. It's my
I thought your highest note of the song on your you find it in me, that part is really nicely done. I love the energy and the like what you're saying. Like it has that attitude when it's the chest voice. It sounds
exactly.
It's a little more punky and like gritty and just a little more like.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's so much more emotional sometimes, or like passionate. I think passionate's the word.
That's the best word for it.
When you can do them full voice like that, and that's exactly the note I'm talking about. I would never have attempted that if I didn't have my little cave of blankets.
Yeah, it's a great moment. Hits hard. The only thing on that song, for me, like I just feel this way about, I guess, a lot of the like non-acoustic percussion is just I think of like, oh, if it didn't have the acoustic percussion.
Oh no, I know.
I wonder how much more elevated it could be. You did like a quick double time moment that I was like, oh, I wanted to hear that keep going. You go, been looking for.
Oh yeah.
You like double timed it just for a second, but then cut it out. And I was like, no, I wanted to hear you kind of like grow in
See,
that
this is another one. I should have sent it to you before I released
intensity.
it. We could have made it so much better.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever kind of like go back to your old stuff and think about repackaging it or re-releasing it, but yeah, if you ever want to put acoustic drums on like that track or some of the other
Oh
ones,
my God, yeah.
that one really speaks to me the most, though.
It's my favorite too.
That was the song of the album for me, and yeah, I feel like that song, I want to just say it has so much potential, and like I know the struggle of like it's so hard to get it out there and get it heard. I know that song would do well though, and Joe's album, he showed to me, that he's working on. I don't know if he
Yeah.
emailed it to
I
you.
listened to it when it was 10 songs. I think it's 12 now. Or I think he added some stuff to it that I haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
But I've been hounding him to release it. I don't know why it's taking so
Uh,
long.
yeah, well, I was giving him a lot of feedback too, and so he kept
Oh,
changing
okay,
stuff
cool.
around. I was listening to it for kind of mixed
Oh, nice.
opinions or whatever, but both you guys have songs that I'm like, I feel like frustrated that I know your guys' music and no one else does. Like I know
I
that
know.
song's so good, and I know Joe has like some songs on his new album that are so good that I know would blow up.
Yeah.
So
It's
I just
impossible and I don't know. It's like you just have to get lucky, I think, or work super hard at it.
it's
But
I
I think it
think
would drain me to try to. I don't like self-promotion. It,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I like to imagine myself as like kind of stoic, and promoting yourself is just the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's definitely like not a pleasurable thing. I don't
No.
know I don't know many people who are like hyped about it, but I yeah, I think that I just think about it a lot about like you and Joe's music, and like
Yeah.
I try to think of like how could I be
There's
helpful
two.
in like in getting it
Yeah.
out there. So I do always have it on my mind of like, and at least there's this to get it to a few new ears. I'm sure that a few of my
That's
other
cool.
guests who have been on here might check this
Sure.
episode out and
Check it out, Blue Karma. You'll like that song.
I'm gonna just highlight this one clip and post that. Check out Blue Karma. But yeah, I'm really ecstatic for your creation here, man. And
Thanks, man.
as far as the last few songs go here, I'll just wrap it up with some last thoughts here.
Yeah.
So last, speaking of which, really like that song. Winter and So Last felt a lot like each other in terms of their melancholic
Yeah.
appeal.
They use the
And
same percussions of like stomping and clapping and snapping and bongos and shaker and stuff.
I listened to the two back to back thinking they had similar chord progressions, but they don't really. But they both touch upon some kind of, not darkness, but it's like,
Yeah,
it's like a little cold, and
definitely.
it's like a little sad. I don't know, like that.
Yep. They're both a little sad. Slow, sad, spread out guitar chords that aren't strummed but like plucked, They both have that going on, which is a thing I just love to do.
And
Like,
Winter felt a lot like your last album, Everything Always, with those
yeah.
kind of sliding, kind of harmonizing
Yeah.
acoustic bits.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think
And
the next album's going to sound more like that.
acoustic or kind of
Yeah,
that
well, no digital
somber.
drums for sure. I don't want to deal with that again. So yeah, there's going to be the acoustic, and I got a banjo. I'm going to try to put that on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And When You Feel Like, I know this song
You know
way
this
too
song?
well.
Yeah, everyone. It's so old. But I never
Yeah.
did like a studio recording of it. The only thing that ever existed of it was that like live take at 3065 Live.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I looked on your SoundCloud because I'm
Did I
like,
take it off?
yeah, I was like, I know this song. Where
Yeah.
can I hear the other version of it? So I went on your SoundCloud, and you have another song called When You Feel Like, but it's like some pitch shifted, or
No,
not pitch shifted.
that's why you feel like that's a different song.
Yeah, like chipmunky kind of version.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Um,
maybe make that into something good because there's some good stuff in that song. Why you feel like we'll see.
when you feel like's a great song too. I really love this
Thank you.
song, but I gotta say, it was the digital drums that detracted from it for me.
Yeah, no, it's true. That one really got crunched up somehow in the processing. I don't know
But
what happened. That one in particular, the digital drums were not satisfying.
I thought the rest of it kept it all together that like, and the drums weren't so bad that it was grating or anything. There was just
Yeah.
one part in the like build up where you're hitting the crashes and they're a little
Uh-huh. At the very end, I know. Yeah. The repeated crash, and it's the same sound every time. It sounds so unnatural. But I
oh,
just,
did you
yeah.
sample your a real kit?
No, it's this. Wait, no.
Is that sampled from like, because I know in your old album you programmed in samples.
No, I know. That's a fun thing to do. This is not that at all. This is hang on, let me see. What is
Just doing
this?
it with MIDI.
Yeah, it's Motown Revisited.
Not Kyle or Aiden.
Oh no, no. No. Kyle and Aiden could never hold this down. Motown, that's just like the name of the Logic drum kit. It is MIDI. I just like, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, it's just
Yeah, it's missing a little bit of that natural dynamic.
yeah,
But the song's great, anyways. And the
thanks.
guitar playing is exquisite. I mean, the guitar playing is really exquisite throughout the whole entire album. And that's
My
obviously
favorite
like
thing
your forte
playing
there.
guitar. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Um, yeah, with that one, the guitar just shines on it. Obviously, it's just such fast, smooth playing, uh, and what else I really love about that is the my only.
Yeah,
What is
there's a lot of
that?
sliding vocals.
I love that one little change up there. This
Okay,
is
cool.
my only.
Yeah.
My
It's
only
an
trick.
eyebrow raiser.
What do you say there?
Uh, um, wait, what the, oh, straighten
Something.
out my only trick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Straighten out
Yeah.
my only trick to curve the lines on your face.
Yeah.
It's
It's
my most evil song for sure.
I
It's my
am
villain.
nothing but bad news.
Yeah, that's right.
Bad
Yeah.
boy.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an old song. It's an,
it it's really well put together though. It's one of those ones that could have been the hit on the album. Like
yeah.
that's the radio friendly
Another one
song
with
in my opinion.
acoustic drums would have definitely made a huge difference.
I think and it's fun. Like I remember vaguely playing along to that. Like did we record
Oh, I'm sure.
a an
We never.
electric kit version of it? Because I can remember
Oh, that's dope. I don't have any recordings of it anywhere at all. All I've ever had was that take it that 3065 live recorded by Willie DiNardo.
Are you sure we didn't do one in the Portland Hunk House basement? I
We
feel
probably played
so.
it.
I
You played the drums to one of the songs on the album I made while I was there. Uh oh boy. SoundCloud. Hang on. The one that you played the drums to was, I mean, I think you played the drums to more than one. The one that I'm thinking of that has like big driving drums that made it really cool was,
I hate a lot of those old drum takes that I do. I never took it like quite seriously enough to make it satisfying at the
it
end.
was I Can't Heal You was the name of it. So if you're ever
Okay,
looking for it, it's like a 2 minute long song.
I'll check it. Those electric drums sound like such trash to my ears now. Like it's not even MIDI. It's like the
Dude, I know
Alesis
how you feel.
built in
The
electric drum kit
Oh
into
yeah,
it.
that's right. It was.
It's
Yeah.
like really yeah, not natural sounding. So
Yeah.
those old songs where like we would record with that, I like don't even barely like listening to those performances by myself. But
That makes sense. I don't have that response to them, but that's because I didn't make those. For me, that's just like it's just charming that it
yeah,
sounds like that. I actually like it, but I know that it's not appealing to other people. But that's, yeah.
I'm really excited to give drums my best shake on the next
All right, cool.
album
I'm
of
gonna have
music.
maybe I'll get some drums from you for my next one.
Well,
I
while
was
I'm
planning on just doing acoustic like hand percussion stuff again, but there's definitely
you don't want to learn the kit, don't you have one in your room?
I have one in a closet. I live in an apartment building.
Uh,
I might I might crack it out just for like kick and snare, but I probably wouldn't play like a whole thing. I'd probably track everything individually. Oh, that's probably gonna sound terrible though. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see.
maybe, dude, you pick stuff up quick. Maybe just start putting in an hour a day, and you'll be quite competent in no time. Yeah, I mean, you already know how to play the drums. You just don't do it
I
very
know how to
much.
go. Yeah,
It's a small leap from there. I
we'll
think
see.
I think simple acoustic drum. I think drums, like when a drummer plays within their ability, I think it always just sounds better, even if it's simple. Even if it's
That's a
just
good
like,
point. Yeah.
I think when it starts to sound like not so good is when someone like goes way beyond, what they're used to playing. But like just a simple acoustic beat might sound awesome. It sound really good.
Yeah, I could maybe do that, even if it's just for one song. I have been trying to. I mean, I fall into the trap a lot of not wanting to work on a song unless there's something about it that's like really complex. You know what I mean? But like
Hmm.
simple songs are just better 90% of the time.
They
I
are.
should just do that more.
Yeah, space really does make the music sometimes.
Yep.
And yeah, my friend Jacob came out with his new album. Like the last episode of this I did, we were covering his new one, and his probably most simple song on the album, I think, hits the hardest. And like, he was like, yeah, that took me no time to make it. And like, it just kind of flowed right out. But sometimes
Yeah.
those ones, it just,
Yeah.
I don't know, something
I
about it.
No, it's totally true. I don't know. The easier it is to make, the more natural it will be to listen to as well. For me, like, I mean, I play guitar like hours a day, just like noodling, not doing anything. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll like come up with something that I play stuff that sounds good. I just won't bother with it unless there's like, oh, what? I don't even understand what I just did. Unless there's that thing in there that makes it so that it's like scratching the mathy part of my brain. And I
Yeah,
think I need to step away from that impulse.
scratching the mathy part of your brain, does that mean you like to pick it apart and start trying to understand why the music theory is affecting you in a certain way?
Yeah, it just I mean,
That's what I feel like
yeah.
personally. I feel like when something makes me go, whoa, what the hell was that? I want to
Right.
know the mechanism underneath it. I want to
Right,
know.
yeah, you want to pull it apart and then put it back together. Yeah, absolutely. That's the tinkerer brain that like is half of what leads people like us to music. Then the other half is just that feeling when you like make something up on the spot that you don't understand, but you liked it, you know? I think I
This
need to
is
lean more into that impulse.
this is the perfect cap kind of question here because we're nearing our
Yeah.
2 hour point. So
Ooh, wow.
I know it goes by fast when you're
Yeah.
talking about fun stuff. But this
All right.
cap question I think
Give it to me.
is perfect to kind of like sum up the whole process here. But piggybacking on what you just said there, that when something strikes you and like it just came out of you, but you're not even sure how or why you created it.
Yeah.
Let's touch upon that a little bit. Do you think these ideas are just a collection of our experiences filtered and repackaged, almost like a dream? Like some people see dreams being just a collection of our experiences repurposed and turned into some symbolic or lesson like experience. Do you think that some of these striking ideas, do you think they're really yours, or do you think you're an antenna?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so, right. I, yeah, okay. So there's a thought experiment that is related to this, right? Where you let's just hypothetically imagine there's a person who's born who has like a fully functioning brain, right? Can't see, can't hear, can't taste, can't feel, no input from the outside world at all. Like they just can't receive any input. Do you think that they will have a thought? And
Um,
they think if they can't experience the outside world?
yeah, I've heard, numerous things posed just like this.
Yeah,
Um, and there's been some real life examples of some isolated people who have been like, abused in such a similar situation. And I don't really know the actual data on those individuals, but I think I tend to believe that there are like physical phenomena that would just naturally seep their way into your psyche that would somehow become the foundation for some mode of creation. As in, I think you would start to see some sort of, like, I feel like you would, I mean, I've heard like blind people say that they can't visualize stuff, but I feel as though some other sensory perception would become evident. And that sensory perception, it's like really hard to sort of put words to such an abstract thing. But
yeah,
I think eventually that they would develop thoughts of some sort. So that's my answer. I think
I
that a
think so
psyche
too.
would
Yeah,
form.
I mean the it's really just like a personification of the question of like, do you think that a person can have like a purely creative thought that isn't influenced by anything else, that is just they made it up out of nothing? Can you
Could
make a
there
thought out of nothing?
can there be a hybrid though, where you're influenced, but then the repackaging of all your influence does create something novel?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. I think I mean, we're creating something novel constantly. Like, uh, even if it's not art, just like the life that you're living is novel,
But
even if it's just in tiny ways.
it's also imitation in a lot of ways too,
Yeah,
or like,
sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we change it every time, you know? But yeah, I do think that, just coming back again to slightly less abstract stuff, uh, our music is the product of our influences and our experiences. We're definitely putting our personalities onto it, but our personalities are also the product of influence and inspirations. Um, that doesn't mean that what we're making isn't unique, though. I think that just the desire to make something unique means that we will. Um, but yeah, whether it's still like, I'm still making the stuff I'm listening to. I'm just making it mine.
is there another creative aspect of your life where you can see the blueprint lay over, where you can see the creative process of how you make music lay right over, say, cooking a meal or something like that? Do you or you've dabbled with paint too?
Yeah, I paint a little bit.
Do you
Uh,
find parallels between these creative modes and sense?
yeah, absolutely. Actually, I think. Well, so
What's the pattern?
yeah, my favorite thing with making music is like what happened with Something You Don't Have, where like I just hear something very specific in some other piece of music that I'm like, I love that. I want to make that myself. Not even thinking I'm going to make my own song, just thinking like I heard that, I love it. I want it. I'm gonna take it. And the same thing happens with painting, right? Like I'll see a video of someone creating a piece of painting where like they do some weird brush stroke or like use a sponge or like do something different, and then I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. I'd like to do that too. And that's it. You just do that. Yeah. And then you end up making something unique just kind of by accident or like inherently,
Do you
incidentally. That's the word I'm looking for.
do you think that there's a physical reaction that you're having to, like, say, that thing that really caught your attention when you recorded those horns for the song? Like, do you think that there is a physical correlation to frequencies and their effect on us? And do you think that like there could be other reasons intertwined with your choice for the frequencies, such as like perhaps you unconsciously created this song to soothe yourself? Like your mind unconsciously knew that these frequencies would literally have a, calming effect on your body. And like, do you think there's any chance that we're unconsciously making these sonic creations to have an effect on ourselves, like almost a therapeutic, unconscious therapeutic action?
Yeah, just yeah, I play music to self-soothe all the time and not even like unconsciously. Like if I'm like feeling shitty, I'll like put on an episode of Community and like sit on the couch with a nylon guitar and just go like, like yeah, no, it's super healing. Like yeah, I think I even have like comfort key centers, like C minor. I'll play in C minor because that's like the thing I like doing that. It's like I think it's the saddest key.
I think that it's so interesting that that like musical tastes are so varied, though. If there was some sort of pattern that like these frequencies do more beneficial things to your biology than
I
these
don't think there's like a
frequencies.
universal key to unlocking everyone, like making everyone feel good. No, I think it's very
It's called
personal.
Christian rock.
Yeah.
It's made with the most perfectly perfect frequencies.
Oh yeah.
Only perfect fourths and fifths, and sometimes thirds.
Yeah. Oh, do you watch you must watch like what's his name? Adam
Adam
something?
Ivy.
No.
Adam Neely.
Adam Neely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah, yeah.
he's a little dry for me, but I like to pick up some of his stuff.
He's very like a scholastic, right?
Yeah.
It feels like you're in school sometimes, but yeah, he did a video that was like about, I think when you talk about like frequencies, there's like a lot of pseudoscience of like A420 is the correct way to
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, he did a video where he like experimented with all of those
I
things.
think I saw that.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering if yeah.
Yeah, the old 412 hertz or something had been
Right.
changed, and like it's some conspiracy to like make
Yeah.
all of our biology bug out.
Right. Yeah.
No, but yeah, that stuff's a little far-fetched. But I do believe that, there's no getting around the fact that like frequencies are just such an inherent part of everything. It makes you wonder how much our quest to like create, these sonic pieces of art like really tie into, everything's resonating on some level, everything's rippling and echoing and resonating, our atoms, our cells and everything. And our brain waves, EEG will, electroencephalogram will pick that up. And
Yeah.
we're constantly just, we are like resonating things. And it makes me wonder that like musicians are
I don't
creating.
think that frequencies and music are the same things, though. The same way that like a word and a story aren't, right? A word has no meaning on its own at all, and neither does, I think, a frequency. Frequencies only really, what we're doing with music is actually telling a story where the frequencies are kind of like the characters, right? The
Yeah,
only
like,
thing
you
that
ever
matters
have.
is how they relate to each other. There's no frequency that's just
Oh,
like good
okay.
on its own.
I
They
agree.
have to be
I
harmonic.
should clarify and say frequencies.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's what music is. I don't believe
But
that
it's
you
the
can play.
movement and the changing of the frequencies that make something into a music.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. It really is the comparing and contrasting and the interval spacing and
Yeah.
the progression of it all that creates its impact. I guess I'm saying though that like, have you ever just heard something that just the music of it is so beautiful, it makes you well up with tears, and like it just chokes you up every time just because the music itself, no lyrics,
Oh yeah.
no, just
Yeah.
simply the frequencies have that strong of an effect on you, you know what I'm saying? Like
Kind of.
that,
I mean, that's like well, classical music, right? I
I
mean,
mean, not for me so much, but
okay, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there are some. I mean, surely, like Claire de Lune,
yeah.
people still listen to that
Oh man,
constantly. It's beautiful. It's hauntingly beautiful.
I just watched Becoming Cousteau, and I've become obsessed with French like counterpoint, like
Hmm.
kind of
I
like
actually don't know what is it. Becoming Cousteau.
Becoming Cousteau. It's just a documentary about Jacques Cousteau, the guy who really innovated a lot of diving and created the self-contained
Oh,
underwater breathing
yeah, yeah,
apparatus. And it's just playing this like like very like it's like kind of waltzy, aquatic sounding, like
yeah.
slidey guitar. It sounds very French and like European,
Sure.
and like, oh
Yeah.
man, I've just loved it so much. But like, yeah, you said Claire de Lune, and it made me think of like, yeah, that French instrumental music
Yeah. It's lovely.
is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, also, I recently watched the movie Annihilation again. I don't know
Oh
if you saw it.
yeah,
It's like a sci-fi movie. Do you remember the end
in
when
the
like
lighthouse.
yeah, the climax of everything, the music that happens, those like it's
Yes,
like three synth hits. It's just like
it's like some
yeah,
crazy
oh,
distorted
oh,
thing.
I love that. Oh
I
my
did
God, it's one of
too.
my favorite things.
that
Yeah,
was that was I oh man, you're just speaking my language right now, because that was one of the few like moments in a theater where I was like, wow, I'm like witnessing like cinema history right now, or something
yeah.
new is happening, where like I've never seen a movie or a moment
Oh
like
yeah.
this. It
It
was very
pushes.
psychedelic in nature, that moment.
Yeah,
Like,
the whole movie kind of is. Yeah, yeah, very
but
visually. I mean, it's all like very rainbowy and like
yeah, yeah, it looks like a soap bubble, their like
yeah, exactly.
division.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll really hit upon any true answer there of whether or not like music can truly affect our physiology. I think Brian Thornton did a paper on that
Really?
for senior project, and he came up with some stuff like, you can make people a lot more uncomfortable with certain frequencies, which is already known, with like
Yeah.
sonic warfare and whatever protest like combatant kind of frequencies and whatever, or like those really high pitched ones that only young people can hear to keep them from loitering. But
Oh yeah.
I have this feeling that there's a subtle world inside of music that does somehow change you
I
in
mean, I
small
think that
ways.
yeah, I agree. I think people have always thought that, right? That's why you're supposed to like make your baby listen to Mozart and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Right? Haven't you heard that?
he's upset. It's really actually interesting. Like,
What is he into?
he's obsessed with it. He
Is he
he
really?
he goes completely like still meditative, like listening in the car. Like, he'll be screaming, crying. We'll put on some other music. We'll put on some other music. We'll put on Dream Shark. It stops instantly. Just starts looking up and like looking around. Like,
Wow.
I don't know if it's because I was making it while he was in the womb. I don't know if it's because I was playing it while he was in the womb. I don't know if it's because we played it early on, but it's
Yeah.
like it'll instantly put him to sleep or put him in like a state of awe. It's so cute and funny and
That's adorable
and
and
rewarding
amazing.
all at the
Yeah,
same time. Yeah.
that's
It's
great.
like, if my songs don't mean anything to anyone else, like I'll know that they're totally like living up to their purpose just through
Yeah,
him. Cause like
that's
at night,
beautiful.
at nighttime when we're putting him down or something, I'll strum some chords from the song, or sing a Dream Shark song, and like he's totally at peace. So just that is enough for me to be super happy about the outcome that somebody likes it, even if it's a baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like
It's
it
my
too.
baby. Thanks, man. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Was that
I've been hearing
intentional?
it the whole time. Oh yeah.
Hyping it up.
It's
Is
just a little
this
chilly in here. I needed something warmer.
is this the Astro Diver back one?
Yes. Yep.
Does that make you sweat a lot?
No, I mean it's cold in here though. We're in Boston. So.
I switched the ink because I found those ones to be too heavy. They make my back sweat a ton.
Oh really? Yeah.
So
I haven't worn it in the summer really that much, so
okay.
I don't know. But it's nice and warm right now.
Well, man, for the last like 30 minutes, I've been just holding my urine in, and I can't do it anymore. So
All right.
this is the perfect
So
segue.
can I just ask, how do you like edit this, or does it just go up exactly as it is?
Just goes up as it is.
Dope. All right, cool. I'll look forward to finding it on YouTube.
I'll just chop out that front bit where we probably were getting set up. But
sure. I think there was a line where we were like, and action.
yeah, that'll be the thing to go off of.
All right.
But yeah, man, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, dude.
Yeah, this was fun.
Sincerely enjoy this kind of conversation and just connecting.
Yeah.
We didn't even really touch upon each other's lives at all, but that's okay. No. Just talking about music is good enough for me.
Music is most of what I'm doing right now anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, man, it's been awesome, and been such a pleasure to have you on.
The pleasure was all mine.
I'll be collaborating with you when I'm in Massachusetts if we can carve out that time. And then and I would love to have you back on in the future, man.
Yeah. Next time I put out an album, I'll definitely jump right on.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, thanks, man. I'm going to give you a digital high five here. And
let's do it.
This has been episode of Explore.
All right.
Ben, peace out.
Good night, Ben.
Later, man.